Hello friends, and welcome to your 60-minute beginning Vinyasa practice. Now, Vinyasa yoga starts at hard. What I mean by that is there are a lot of advanced poses and transitions that are utilized in a Vinyasa flow practice that might not be intuitive to the beginner yogi. So this class is geared for someone just starting out with their Vinyasa practice. And I'll really teach you some tools and techniques to build to a seamless flow practice. So for this class, you'll need 2 yoga blocks or bricks or something similar. Something you can put your weight on and it's pretty sturdy. Right? So just grab some of those and place them towards the top of your mat for now. We'll get to them in a moment. And let's get started. We'll begin in a tabletop position, all fours on your mat. So palms are directly underneath your shoulders here. And you want your knees to be hip distance apart, directly under your hips. So 90-degree angle with the knees and hips. Then just find a little softness through your elbows by spinning of the eyes of your elbows to face in towards one another. And spread your fingers evenly on the mat. Very important to bring the weight into the thumb and index finger pad. So more of the inner L shape of your hands here. That will help your wrists out. Then just find a slight bit of core engagement to lengthen the back of your spine. Just gaze ahead of your fingertips here. Really feel the length in the back of your neck. And just to find a natural breath to begin. Feeling into your body here. Good. And then we'll start to warm up the spine a little bit here. So as you inhale, let your belly fall towards the mat. Lift your gaze up and lift your tailbone. This is called cow pose. And exhale, pull your chin to your chest, tuck your tail under, open up your shoulder blades here. Cat pose, like a scared Halloween cat. Inhale, cow pose. Moving with your breath a bit here, and exhale, cat pose. Take that one more time. Inhale, open up, thread your chest forward, and exhale, cat pose. Press away into your mat. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Then just walk your hands about a step forward. Good. Bring your big toes to touch and open your knees a little bit wider. Sink your hips down and back towards your heels, child's pose. Rest your elbows if you need a bit of release in your shoulders. And gently draw your seat back and down towards your heels. So this is a great pose to come to at any time if you need just a little rest, a little break throughout our practice. Very restorative pose. Pose of a child, Balasana. Very good, friends. Now we'll move from child's pose back through tabletop. So flowing a bit seamlessly. So inhale to lift yourself upward, all fours. Thread your heart forward a bit. And then exhale, press back to your child's pose. Down, inhale, lift up, thread your heart forward, and exhale, draw your hips down and back. One more time, inhale, tabletop, and exhale, sink it down, child's pose. Keep your elbows lifted if you can, and clear through your hips. Press the good toes as you do so, to draw your tail closer to your heels. You can also place a block on your head if it doesn't quite touch the floor. Lift up through tabletop. Grab one of your blocks. And we'll come to a seat in Hero's Pose, Virasana. I'll face you, that might help. So your knees come together, heels out, side of your hips, and just sit down onto your block. You may have the space to sit all the way onto the mat, and if this causes any pain in your knees or ankles, feel free to just sit in an easy cross-legged seat. Good. Still propped up on your block so that your hip points are elevated up over your thighs. Then just bring your palms flat onto your thighs. Allow your elbows to hang heavy down from your shoulder joints. Feel a slight drawing inward of the shoulder blades, so your upper middle back bend pulls in to open across the chest, the collarbones. And then reach to the crown of your head and gently close your eyes. So Vinyasa practice is really focused on moving with your breath. So as we flow, each movement will be united together with an inhale or an exhale. And Vinyasa means to place in a special way or a specific way. So I want you to really feel your body and notice every movement you make, every transition throughout this practice. Be aware of your body and conscious of where you're placing it in space. So to settle into our breath, to connect to our breath, we'll start with some Ujjayi pranayama, our breath of victory. To practice this breath, seal your lips. So we'll just breathe in and out of the nose. And you want to create an oceanic, or you can think of it as a dark Vader sound with the breath. And the breath will travel along the back of your throat. So lips are sealed. Gently bring your tongue towards the top palate, the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. Inhale through your nose. And then exhale back out your nose. Pretend like you're fogging up a mirror or glass with your breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your nose. Draw your belly button in and up as you breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Continue this breath. The goal of about 4 or 5 counts on each inhale and each exhale. Creating a rhythm to your breath that serves you today. Good. I'll count us through. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round like this. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue gently on your own. Allowing the breath to start to heat the body. Keep your eyelids soft, light through the crown of your head. And then guide your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. A tiny space between your palms. The outer edges of your palms touch together. Lift your heart into your thumbs. Just seal in whatever energy you're bringing to practice today. Whatever you might be focusing on in your own yoga journey. And a gentle reminder to stay aware, stay conscious of your body in space throughout this practice. Notice how it moves. Because if you take some self-study, known as Svadhyaya, It is from there that you can grow and learn. Very nice. Gently blink your eyes open. And then release your palms. Take your blocks and just bring them to the front of your mat once again. Meet me back in tabletop, all fours. Palms slightly in front of your shoulder joints. From here, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, slight bend in your knees. Continue to press through your thumb and forefinger, and then reach your tailbone up and back. Draw your low floating ribs in. So avoiding letting our ribs stick out and melt towards the floor, draw that in. And then from there, you can press longer through your arms and reach your tail up and back. And your heels might be really lifted off the mat. They might be pretty close to the mat. Both are okay. Settle back into your breath, downward dog. Your biceps frame your ears here. Straighten your arms long. Allow your armpits to roll forward, open towards your heart space, creating space through the shoulder joints. Good. And then gaze forward towards your hands and just gently crawl, tiptoe, walk your feet towards your wrists. Coming into a forward fold, your feet are about 2/5 width distance apart. And then hinge forward. Bend your knees a bit. Find an easy fold, Uttanasana. You may choose to grab the opposite biceps or elbows. Perhaps even rock a bit side to side. Allowing your spine to lengthen, creating space between each vertebrae. Good. Then bring your fingertips to the floor. Keep your feet hip distance apart here. Good. Bring your palms to your shins and just lift halfway up, half lift. Lengthen from tailbone to crown of head. You can use your palms on your shins to draw your shoulder blades back behind you. Nice. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, fold forward once again. Good. From here, bring your hands to your hips. Press into your feet, lift all the way up to stand. Breath in. And exhale, hands to heart center. Standing at attention, Samastitihi. So we've made it through to our Sun Salutation A portion of practice. You're more than welcome to keep your feet hip distance if that feels steadier today. Otherwise, you can step your feet together to touch. Spread your toes on the mat. Squeeze your inner thighs. And gently draw your tail towards the floor just to lengthen your low back a bit. Good. As you inhale, sweep your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Pause and breathe. Draw your pinkies towards the midline of your body. And think of being sucked up through a tube or a straw, pulling up towards the ceiling, grounded through your feet, reaching up through the crown of your head. Take a breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands through your heart or open your arms to swan dive down. Hinge from your hips. Find your mat with your fingertips. Good. We've been here before. Inhale, lift halfway up. And then exhale, step back to a plank. Bring your palms to the mat. And lengthen your legs long behind you. Kick through your heels. Micro bend your elbows. Heart threads forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades and just hold. Building strength here. That's it. And then lower to your belly. You can use your knees if you need. Keep your palms down by your rib cage. Fingertips forward. And then press into the tops of your feet. Inhale, Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Lift your kneecaps. As you draw your sternum up and away from the floor, draw your elbows in and back. Yeah, you're framing your rib cage with your elbows. Squeeze your legs and glutes. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower back down, and then press up through tabletop. Find downward facing dog. So Cobra Pose is an excellent option to take in practice. If you're choosing not to do a full Chaturanga, we'll go through what that looks like in a moment. So feel free to take Cobra instead of Chaturangas today if you wish. Good. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk your feet to your hands, forward fold, feet together or apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Flowing with the breath now. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Root to rise. Inhale, all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart space. Let's flow. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your plank. Step back, strengthen. Lower down to your belly. Another cobra. Inhale, lift your sternum, press into the tops of your feet. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, press up through tabletop. And exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. All right, lower your knees to the floor. Then collect your blocks. We're going to practice a drill to help us work on our Chaturangas, our high to low, or I like to call it half plank, because you don't want to go too far down. That can put stress on your shoulder joints. So to start, we're going to take our blocks, place them on the highest level, shoulder distance apart, right? So you can kind of gauge that by bringing your hands to the mat. And you want it to hit right here in that meaty part of the shoulder. So bring your fingertips directly behind your blocks, and then scooch back into your tabletop. Now gently grip the mat with your fingertips, kind of like you're clawing the mat, and then pull your shoulder blades behind you. Find length through your spine and your neck. Then your knees are going to come slightly behind your hips. From here, shift forward so that your shoulders are directly over your blocks. Squeeze your belly in tight. And then with control, keep your elbows close to your rib cage. Lower your shoulders all the way down to your blocks and hold. Keep squeezing the core. Don't let your head sag down. Look towards the top edge of your mat and pull your elbows into your side. So this is the position. I just want you to feel this position in your body. This is where I want you to be in your Chaturanga. Now, recruit your core and arm strength, triceps working hard. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, press yourself back up off the blocks. And then just sit back into a version of child's pose, little easy version. So we're going to do that again. This time we're going to add some knee lifts. So come back to tabletop. Shift forward, lower down. So the blocks are supporting you here. It's taking a little pressure off. Tuck your toes underneath. Inhale. Exhale, lift your knees off of the floor. Keep pressing into your palms. Lower your knees. Inhale. Exhale, lift them off the floor. Keep reaching through the crown of your head. Squeeze your glutes. Tap your knees down. And lift. Two more. Tap down. And lift. Tap down and lift, lower your knees, press up and sit your hips back. Take a breath, child's pose. Good. Come back up to your tabletop. Nice. Now move your blocks to the side. And we'll just practice one set of Chaturanga with our knees today. So as we build, we'll be able to lift our knees off the floor, but we're gonna get our alignment nice and locked in. So I want your knees on the mat today. Here we go. So same notion as if the blocks were there, but we've just moved them out of the way. Inhale, shift forward, shoulders over fingertips, squeeze the core. Exhale, bend your elbows back. Chaturanga, keep squeezing the triceps. Good. Now from here, press into the tops of your feet, lift your chest, lift your knees, upward facing dog. Remember, you can take cobra instead by lowering all the way to the belly if you need. Good, breath in. Exhale, lift your hips, press into the tops of your feet, and find downward facing dog. Pause and breathe. So that's our Chaturanga transition. Let's try that one more time. Lower down to your knees, tabletop. Shift forward, inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga, bend your elbows. Inhale, press into the tops of your feet, cobra, lift, or up dog rather. Option for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. So if you were to take that cobra, you just lower all the way to your belly instead. Nice. Very good. Lower to your knees for a moment. Take your block, keep your toes tucked, place it between your sits bones and your heels. Little toe squat, stretching out the bottoms of your feet. Rest your palms on your thighs. If you want a little more sensation, you can move the block out from underneath your hips and sit all the way onto your heels. Close your eyelids from top to bottom. Relax the tops of your shoulders. Just feel the energy moving through your body. Good. So we just went through our Chaturanga alignment. Now we'll work on a step through from down dog to our lunge. This will help us in our Surya Namaskar B and standing series flows, which you'll see in a bit. All right, so take your blocks. This time you're gonna place them on the lowest setting, shoulder distance apart once again. We'll take downward facing dog on our blocks. So bringing the heels of your hands towards the ends of the blocks, really press down, and you can even kind of grip the edges of the block with your fingers if your block's feeling a little slippery. Lift your tail up and back. Good. So the blocks are just going to give our hips a little bit more space to step through. Step your left foot to the center of your mat. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Pause here, roll your right hip down in line with your left. Very nice. Inhale. As you exhale, curl your heel towards your butt. Shift your weight forward. Draw your knee towards your chest. Hold here. Squeeze. Good. Shift back. Reach your right leg up. Good. And then lower your foot down. We'll try that on the other side. Bring your right foot to the center of your mat. Lift your left heel high. Roll your left hip down. Three-legged dog. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, draw your heel to your butt. Curl forward, puff up the shoulder blades. Pull your knee towards your nose. Reach your left leg back. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause at the center. So now we'll add our full step through. Left foot to the center of your mat. Inhale, reach your right leg high. Exhale, curl your heel to your butt, pull forward, and then step your foot all the way through. You might need to come up a bit on your right hand, but see how those blocks give you a little more space to step through. Good. Really puff up the shoulder blades, and then lower your left knee to the floor. Untuck your toes. Shift your hips forward. Lengthen your heart forward. Reach your arms over your head. Crescent Moon pose. Good. Draw your right hip back. Squeeze your arm muscles. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your blocks. I like to shift my knee back a bit. Pull your hips back, half split, Ardahana Manasana. Keep your blocks under your palms. Flex your right toes towards your shin. Draw your right hip back. Keep length through your spine and low back. Good. Rebend your right knee. Bring your blocks forward once again. Lift your left knee off the mat and step back, downward facing dog. Let's try that on the left side. Inhale, reach your left leg high. Exhale, curl your heel in, pull your knee forward, and then step through. Your knee is directly over your ankle here. Good, lengthen your arms, reach through your back heel, and then lower your right knee down. Lift your chest, reach your arms up, Crescent Moon. Squeeze your inner thighs. Root your left foot and right shin into the floor. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your blocks. Shift your hips back, lengthen your left leg. Take your blocks with you. Half split, Ardahana Manasana. Spread your left toes out wide. You can kind of rock your hips side to side if that feels good. Reconnect to your Ujjayi breath in and out of your nose. Good, rebend the left knee, find your lunge, and then step your left foot back, downward facing dog. So nice. Gently walk your hands off of your blocks, move them out of the way. Good, we'll try our step throughs without the blocks here. If you need to use your hand to move your foot up, go for it, right? Here we go. Inhale, reach your right leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step it through. Nice. Lower your left knee to the mat. Inhale, Crescent Moon. Exhale, half split. If you need to use your blocks again, feel free. Shift forward, lunge, inhale, and step back, downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, low lunge. Bring your knee down. Inhale, Crescent Moon. Exhale, half split. Use blocks as needed. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Very nice. From here, look towards your hands. And then walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold. Feet together or slightly apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, Ardha Hastasana. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Collect yourself here. Moving on to Surya Namaskar B, Sun B. So spread your toes. Shift your weight more towards your heels, bend your knees, reach your arms up, chair pose, Utkatasana. Squeeze your glutes, fire up your thighs, and once again, knit your low floating ribs in. Soften the muscles of your face. Inhale, breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And then from here, exhale, just step straight back to downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, low lunge. From here, front knee over ankle, step your left foot out a bit, and then spin your heel down, toes point out about 45 degrees. Setting up for Warrior One pose. Press down into your feet. Lift with a long spine. Bring your hands to your hips. Now notice, if your knee is far back behind your ankle, Maybe you shorten your stance a bit. Draw your right hip point back, left hip point forward. Press down through the outer line of your back leg and square your shoulders to the front. From here, reach your arms up by your ears. Hold and breathe, warrior one. Part of our sun bee salutation. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. We'll try that on the left. Inhale, reach your left leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot out, and then spin your heel down. So you just did this on the other side, so you'll kind of have a feel for it here. Lift up, hands to your hips. Adjust as needed. Find the stacking of your bones, knee over ankle. Draw your left hip point back in space. Pack the outer edges of your waist in, so squeezing in, corseting, and then lengthen your arms by your ears. Powerful and strong in your stance. Inhale. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. You can stay here. If you want to practice another Chaturanga, shift forward to your plank, lower your knees. Bend your elbows 90 degrees. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high and wide. Nice. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet to your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, lifting up in the chair now. Bend your knees a lot, sit your hips back. Inhale, chair pose, hold and breathe. Strengthening the inner and outer thighs. Draw your tail back, back, back. Good. Stand up tall and bring your hands to your heart. That is our full sun bee. Let's flow, breaths and movement. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, sink your hips, chair pose. Hold your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, big step. Pin your back heel to the mat. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, downward facing dog, right foot back. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, low lunge, pin your heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here, or inhale, shift forward, lower your knees. Exhale, Chaturanga, or lower to your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Use the strength of your core for that transition. Take a breath in and a breath out. Very nice. Lower your knees down to the mat once again. Good, we made it through our sun bee. Now, sometimes in a traditional vinyasa practice, we might do a sun C here, but we'll move into a little bit of core work now, and then move into some more standing poses after that, just to give your arms and legs a little break. So go ahead, take a seat. We'll start with boat pose, Navasana. My dog Remington is shedding all over me. Such a fun perk of practicing at home with my puppy. So bring your feet to the mat, bend your knees, tailbone grounded. Bring your palms underneath your thighs and lean back until you start to feel your abs activate. Draw your shoulder blades back, shine your heart. You can stay right here or Lift one shin, maybe lift the other. Your hands can stay where they are or reach them forward and long. Boat pose, Navasana. Now one final option here, just to add a little fun in, a little dance. Tap your right heel to the mat and then bring your legs back together. Tap your left heel, lift it up. Inhale, tap. Exhale, pull it in. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Keep going. Yes, down and up. Here for 8, 7, 6. Lift the corners of your mouth. 5. Add that smile. 4. Might feel better. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hold. Maybe lengthen the legs long. And then release down. Take a breath. And then roll onto your back. Taking reclined bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. You have the option here, as you open your knees, to rest some blocks underneath them if you feel any discomfort in the hips or knees in this position. Otherwise, just move your blocks out of the way. Press the soles of your feet together. Bring your hands behind your head and open your elbows to the side. Good. Gaze straight up towards the ceiling. Keep your elbows open. Inhale. As you exhale, pull your shoulder blades off the mat. Find a little crunch. Inhale to lower. And exhale to lift and squeeze. Keep going. Down and up. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. And in this section, it might feel appropriate to release your Ujjayi breath and breathe out your mouth. That's more than okay. Keep squeezing the soles of your feet together. Just 8 more. 7, 6, 5. Really lift. 4. Close your eyes if you like. 3. Or look at your favorite spot on the ceiling. 2. Now hold at the top. Hold. Reach your arms forward. Lift even higher. Press your feet in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Let your arms rest out to the side. Release all your breath. Let your thighs melt open. Relax your jaw. Good. Draw your knees together. Hug them into your chest. You can either sit to one side and come to a seat that way, or rock and roll the length of your spine a few times. Moving up to a seat. Good. Move your blocks out of the way. So we're going to come into what's called a Yogi Squat. So bring your heels in, toes out, and you'll have to adjust your feet. They might be a little wider or closer together than mine. The goal is to direct your knees straight over your toes and sit your hips down, elbows inside of the thighs. It might feel good in your body to sit onto a block. You might even need to stack 2 blocks on top. So just feel that out in your body. Good. Lengthen through your spine here. Palms together. And now press your inner thigh into your elbow and your elbow back into your thigh. Take a breath in. And exhale, press, squeeze in. Elbows to thighs, thighs to elbows. And then release, let that go. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze, pull together. And then let go. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze in, press, lift through your head, and then release. Very good. Bring your fingertips down to the mat and then up, just opening up the wrists a bit. Now in a typical vinyasa practice, There's usually some sort of arm balance or inversion. So I'll invite in a little variation of this pose, frog pose. I'll turn to face the side. You're more than welcome to just stay right here in frog, in Manasana, or come to child's pose. If you want to explore an arm balance, simply shift forward to lift your seat off your block. Bring your palms shoulder distance to the mat. Now, take that same action of elbows to thighs. Press your legs and arms together and lean forward so your weight's onto your hands. Keep squeezing your elbows to your thighs. Little doming of the upper back here. Now this is a great place to start. This is what I call flying frog, a variation of crow pose, Sukhasana. If you feel courageous today, perhaps you maybe try to lift one foot off the floor. Maybe you try to lift the other foot, squeeze. Or maybe you get enough momentum to lift both feet. Now you can kind of rock forward and back a bit if you want. If you have a fear of falling forward, just bring a block right there. So if you do happen to tip forward a bit, there it is, right there to catch you. So give that a little bit of a try. Explore for a moment. Then when you're ready, just move any of your props out of the way and press back to an easy child's pose for a moment. Close can be together or open. Lifting up through tabletop and just step all the way up to stand. So we'll move into a few more standing postures that you'll typically see in a Vinyasa practice. Face the long edge of your mat, feet together. Good, and then step your feet out nice and wide. Toes point forward, hands to your hips. Good. From here, turn your left toes in slightly. Turn your right toes out 90 degrees, knee directing over your toes. Stack your shoulders over your hips, and then bend your right knee over your ankle. Find that 90-degree bend. Squeeze your inner thighs. Reach your arms out to a T. Gaze over your front middle finger. Warrior 2. Virasana 2. Root down into the outer edge of your back foot. Continue to draw your right knee open towards the pinky edge of your foot. Good, and then lengthen your right leg, bring your hands to your hips. Spin your right toes in slightly, left toes out 90 degrees. Adjust your chest so it's facing the side. Then slowly with control, bend your left knee over your ankle. Good. Reach your arms out to a T. Gaze over your front middle finger. Warrior 2, Virasana 2. Lengthen your arms long. Good. Lengthen your left leg, straighten it out, hands to your hips. Spin your left toes forward. And then just step your feet together to touch. Let your arms hang by your sides. Tadasana. So Warrior 2. And then we'll add on from there, adding on our extended side angle pose. Step your feet out nice and wide. Toes point forward. Spin your left toes in slightly. Right toes out 90 degrees. Spin your chest to face the side, the long edge of your mat. Bend your right knee starting in Warrior 2, Virasana 2. Good. From here, keep the bend in your front knee. Shift forward, reach forward with your front arm. Bring your elbow to the top of your thigh. Circle your left arm down and around to frame your face. Extended side angle. Trying to create one long line of energy from your left foot all the way up and out your left fingertips. Continue to squeeze your right glute, your outer hip in, and stay low in that lunge. Roll your heart open, lifting your lower ribs away from your thigh. Good. Now lift up from here back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Spin your right toes in. Spin your left toes open. Face the long edge of your mat. Starting in warrior two, bend your left knee. Good. As you inhale, reach forward. Exhale, bring your elbow to the top of your thigh. Circle your top arm. You can gaze straight out or maybe up past your elbow. If you have any pain in your neck, just look down at the floor. Feel that nice stretch through the right side of your ribs, your side body. Big lateral reach. Spread the balls of your feet, the soles of your feet into the floor. Squeeze your left outer hip, your glute. Coming back up through warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Spin your toes forward and gently step together. Tadasana. Recentering. One more pose to add to this series. Reverse warrior. Stepping your feet back out, nice and wide. Good. Spin your left toes in slightly, right toes out. Arms to a T, bend your right knee, warrior two. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, extended side angle, shift forward, circle your left arm around. Nice. Now from here, you're gonna keep this nice lunge in your front leg. Reach up through the crown of your head. Bring your left arm down your back leg and then reach your right arm up out of your shoulder. So keep your chest to face the side, more of a side bend than a back bend here. Good. You might even bring your left palm to your right hip just to ground it and then lift further up and out of that hip point. Big side body stretch. Good. And then from here, just come back to warrior two. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Straighten your right leg. Pivot your right toes in, left toes out. Face your chest to the side. Good. Bend your left knee. Warrior two. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Inhale. Exhale. Extended side angle. Shift to your left. Reach your right arm long. Adding on reverse warrior. Keep your legs where they are. Lift your torso. Waterfall your right arm down your back leg. Lift your left arm straight out of your shoulder. Stay low in your lunge. Lightly rest your back hand. Maybe tap your hip point and feel the stretch from hip point to fingertips. Come back up to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Pivot your toes forward. Step your feet together. Tadasana. So we've just learned 3 new poses. Warrior two, extended side angle, and reverse warrior. Now we're gonna take that all together and flow it through from downward dog. So we'll utilize our 3-legged dog and step through. So go ahead, make your way to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale, reach your right leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot through. Good, now pin your back heel down. So this isn't like warrior one, where your hips are still facing the front. They're gonna face more towards the side of your mat. From here, lift up, cartwheel your arms open. Here we are, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, up and back. Now this time, exhale, move through warrior two. Bring your hands all the way to your mat, to your lunge. Press back, downward facing dog. Let's try that on the left side. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, low lunge. Pin your back heel down. Spin your right hip open. Warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, curl your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Breath out, optional chaturanga. Shift forward, lower your knees. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, reach your right leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, spin your back heel down. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, find down dog through low lunge. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, spin your back heel down. Inhale, warrior two, follow your breath. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, palms to the mat, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Optional chaturanga, final one of practice. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Good. From here, lower your knees to the mat. Bringing them about hip distance apart, that 2/5 width. We'll start to slow it down, neutralize. Bring your hands to your low back, fingertips face down, and draw your elbows in. If it feels better in your knees to tuck your toes, go there. Lengthen the front of your hips, inhale. Exhale, Camel Pose, Ustrasana. Lift your sternum as you guide your head back, arching back over a big imaginary ball. You might reach for your heels today, or like me, you might keep your hands grounded into your hips for more stability. On an inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, take an easy seat on your heels. Rest the backs of your hands down on your thighs to ground. Close your eyes down if you wish. Very nice. And sit to one side or the other. Roll all the way to your back. Once you're here, bring your heels close to your booty, about hip distance apart. Bring your palms down by your hips. Moving into dynamic bridge. Your feet and shoulders will be your base of support here. As you lift your hips, you'll reach your arms up and overhead, and then you'll bring everything back down together. Here we go. Inhale, bridge pose. Lift your hips, reach your arms up, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, lower back down. Once again, inhale, lift up, bridge pose. Exhale, back down. Keep your neck even and still. Inhale, lift, bridge pose. Hold your hip. Your arms down by your sides once again. You can tickle your heels with your fingertips or interlace your fingertips underneath you. Walk your shoulders closer together. Shoulder blades. And open your heart. Hold for 1 or 2 more breaths. And slowly release your hips to the mat. Just a gentle rock side to side with your knees. Good, and then come to a seat once again. However you wish. Lengthen your legs straight out in front of you. Good, Dandasana, staff pose. From here, bend your right knee and bring the sole of your right foot to the outer edge of your left knee. Reach through your left heel. Bring your right fingertips behind you. Reach your left arm by your ear. Inhale. Exhale. Hug your right thigh with your hand or hook your elbow outside of your thigh to twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes. So you want to keep length through your spine. So the hug can be a little more gentle in that respect. Feel free to go there as needed, so as not to compromise the low back or spine. On an inhale, come back to center. And on an exhale, reach your legs long. Bend your left knee. Cross your foot over your leg. Left fingertips behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, hug or hook your thigh to twist. So nice. Inhale, return to center. Good, and then exhale, reach your legs long in front of you. Nice. Reach your arms up by your ears, press down into your sitting bones. And gentle exhale, fold forward. Keep your heart open. Your hands might be on the mat, your shins, your toes. And just release into the shape, keeping structure but suppleness. Good, and then lift yourself back up nice and easy. Come all the way down to your back. One more pose before our final Shavasana. Draw your knees into your chest and then open your knees out towards your armpits. Reach behind your thighs and then shine the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Ensure that the entire length of your spine is grounded into the floor. Spread your toes. So this is an awesome place to stay so as not to put pressure on the knees or too much pressure on the hips. If you feel like you have a little more room today, you might reach for your shins or perhaps all the way towards your feet. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Happy baby pose. Option to gently rock side to side. Iron out any last wrinkles. Can make happy baby noises. Feels so good. Then pause in stillness. Start to soften the muscles of your face and your chest. Release the grip on your legs and give your shins a gentle hug. Feel your belly press into your thighs as you inhale. And drop away as you exhale. Bring your feet to the mat. And then lengthen one and both legs out nice and long. About hip distance, maybe a tiny bit wider. Hug your shoulder blades underneath you. Rest the backs of your arms onto the floor beside you. And let your feet roll open. Take one more deep breath in. And then release the breath on your exhale. Finding Shavasana, corpse pose, your final meditative rest. If you have any strain in the low back, you can also rest your knees on top of your blocks or maybe a bolster if you have one. We'll be here for a few minutes. Simply enjoy this restful, restorative shape. And imagine here that the sun, the warming sun, is shining down upon you, lighting you up from the inside out. Starting at your toes, melting away stress and tension. And that sun crawls up your ankles to your shins, releasing and relaxing. Lifting up through your knees, melting your thighs and your hamstrings. Releasing your hip creases, your pelvis and glutes. Melting the belly, the low back, the waist. And gently making its way to your chest. And the spot between your shoulder blades. Warming the collarbones, the shoulders. Relaxing into the biceps, the triceps. Flowing through the elbows, that warmth. Releasing your forearms, wrists, palms, and fingers. Until you're like a puddle on the mat. One with your mat, moving up into the neck, emptying out tension, softening the jaw, the tongue. Releasing your cheeks, your ears. Warming and relaxing your forehead. And then allowing that light to shine up and out through the crown of your head. So that your entire body is lit up from the inside out with a warm orange toned light. Nice and warm and uplifting, yet relaxing. Simply melt away for a few more moments here in Shavasana. Very slowly start to become aware of your breath once again, the rise and fall of your chest. Tap your thumbs to your fingertips, wiggle your toes. Slowly starting to reawaken the physical body and the mind. Reach your arms long over your head with your toes, put your palms. A calming sensation, roll to your left. For a little more energy, roll off to your right side, fetal pose. Use your bicep as a pillow. And then with your head the last thing to rise, slowly press yourself up into a seat. Easy pose, Sukhasana. Feel free to lift your seat onto a block here once again as needed to elevate your pelvis a bit. Rest your palms face down on your thighs. And just notice how you might feel different now than you did at the beginning of this practice. Guide your hands together at heart center, sealing in your practice with this mudra, a balancing and inviting a cherished gesture. Gently bring your chin towards your chest, nose towards your fingertips, thanking yourself for taking the time out of your day to practice, to strengthen, to grow. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, friends. I hope you felt supported in this beginning of your Vinyasa exploration. As I said, Vinyasa classes start at hard. So if this feels challenging, that's exactly where you're meant to be, and you're not alone. Namaste.